I spilled on my pants. Of course,
They're always hot and
okay, I'll
sexy.
tell you. Okay, can we do an intro, but it's in unison, so it's really weird?
What should we say? Do you know what was that? Fanfic! Alexa and Sienna react to Bad Fanfic! This episode, Septiplier! Today we're reading a fanfic on Wattpad called Septiplier Livestream Days. Finished.
Jack and Mark are in Mark's apartment in LA, and they're starting their live stream. Things take a turn when Mark suggests a game of Truth or Dare from the fans watching.
Really bad.
Oh.
Top of the morning to you laddies!
Top of the morning to you laddies!
I just got off Skype with my best friend Mark, who had asked me if I'd like to go to his for the weekend in LA, and we were gonna do a live stream for charity. Of course I said yes and was extremely excited for the next few days, and I went to my room to start packing as I'll be leaving for the airport early tomorrow morning.
Time skip to
Jackaboy's Landing. In the middle. Mark's POV.
Holding a huge sign that said in bold green letters, Jackaroonie. I couldn't wait for Jack to get here. We've been best friends for a few years now, and I've always had slight feelings for him ever since I laid eyes on him. Hold on, I gotta get his voice right.
Something here seems foul.
Oh, okay, like this. His perfect ocean blue eyes were always so easy to get lost in. His beautiful Irish accent sends shivers. Tell me which one sounds right. Something, something, something.
That one.
Wait, stop that! I shouldn't be thinking like this. We are just friends. And besides, Jack's not gay. Even if he was, why would he ever have feelings for me?
Jack's point of view. I had fallen asleep on the plane ride over, so my hair was a mess. And I'm pretty sure I looked awful, which was kind of embarrassing. Especially since I'd be seeing Mark for the first time in 4 months since PAX. God, I missed him so much. His chocolate brown eyes, his deep, sexy voice. No, Jack, stop! You don't like him like that. What's wrong with you? You've only just broken up with your girlfriend. You do not need to be making things awkward with your best friend. Movie night, part 2. Mark's point of view.
I've been waiting and searching anxiously for about 15 minutes when suddenly bright green caught my eyes. I saw Jack practically sprinting through the crowds of people between him and myself. I couldn't help the big goofy grin that spread across my face as hello?
Smash that like button!
Spread across my face as he ran and hopped, shouting,
Excuse me! Coming through!
and
Make way!
edit a fish.
I got that real good, feel good
Do it again.
up under the seat of my big black jacked up truck.
When he finally got to me, I was expecting a hi and a handshake because I hadn't seen him in so long. Then I remembered this was Jack I was talking about, and before I could even say anything, he wrapped his arms around me in a crushing bear hug. I awkwardly hugged back. Please do not. And blushed a deep red.
Jack's point of view. When I saw Mark standing at the other end of the airport, I was so excited I couldn't help myself but squeeze the shit out of him.
I pooped. Hey, Jack.
He said, kind of awkwardly, rubbing the back of his neck. He was blushing but grinning at the same time. Hey, Marky Moo. Hey, Marky Moo! I shouted, and
His
he
voice is
blushed
a lot higher
an
than
even
that.
darker shade of red when he heard the nickname I called him. We both kind of stood there in silence, taking in each other as if it was the first time we'd ever seen each other. His glowing red hair fell perfectly across his forehead. He was wearing his green dinosaur tank top and his sweatpants. And he just looked perfect.
Hold on. Take a swig. That came back up. After realizing.
Sorry.
Come on, Jack. After realizing that we'd kind of been staring at each other for about 5 minutes in silence, I decided to start walking towards the exit, saying, well, come on, Jack. I can't wait to show you around my new apartment. Thankfully, he snapped out of it and followed me to the exit. and hopped to the front of my car. I'm gonna break the boards in the couch. Luckily, he didn't realize, but almost the whole way home, I couldn't help but keep glancing over at his face of awe out the window as he took in the sights of LA.
Jack's point of view. Sorry about all the POV changes. As Mark showed me around his apartment, I don't think I was paying attention to what he was saying.
Sorry.
I was just listening to the tone in his voice and his face of excitement to be showing me his home. I thought his enthusiasm was adorable. No! I need to stop that. That's what's gotten into me. I shook away my thoughts and actually started paying attention to what he was saying. Good timing, too, because he just asked,
So, what do you want to do now that you're here and settled?
well, since it's getting kind of late, we could just watch a movie and then go to bed and we can set up stuff for the stream tomorrow. I asked suggestively.
Well,
Since it's getting kind of late, we could just watch a movie and then go to bed. We could set up stuff for the stream tomorrow.
what kind of movie, Jack?
He nodded and pointed to the rack of movies next to the TV. I started to look through and decided to get out a horror movie. As Mark got the popcorn ready.
Jack hopped onto the couch next to me and grabbed a handful of popcorn as I played the film. After a few jump scares, I don't think he realized that he gradually made his way closer to me. It was now furiously grabbing my shirt. Like all my hair. As much as I felt bad for him and wished he wasn't so scared, I was enjoying having Jack cuddle up to me so close. By the end of the film, Jack pretty much had his face buried in the shirt. As I sat there chuckling at him, I never wanted it to end. I didn't want him to leave. I wish he could just stay cuddled close to me forever. Okay, so I'm in love with Jack. I don't know if I'll be able to hide it from him much longer.
Relationships, Chapter 3. Jack's point of view. After our film had finished, I took a deep breath and then realized that I was almost sitting on Mark's lap. I let that quickly and looked at him, blush creeping up my neck to my cheeks.
Which cheek?
Mark, I'm so sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. I didn't realize. Sorry, man.
Hey Jack, it's fine.
Come on.
Hey Jack, it's fine if you were just scared. Besides, we're best friends. What's a little cuddle gonna do to hurt that? Hey. Oh.
What?
What's a little cuddle gonna do to hurt that?
Hey. He said, chuckling at the last part. I smiled and got up, yawning and stretching. Man, was I tired. Even though I slept on the plane, I felt like I haven't slept in days. I mean, after mine and Signey wish you breakup, I have been struggling to sleep, but I've been sleeping.
I can't sleep.
But I sleep. Actually, now that I think about it, since I've been with Mark, I hadn't thought about her at all. My smile faded to a frown, and I think Mark noticed. Mark's point of view.
I saw Jack's usually happy face turn into a frown. And I looked at him in concern. Hey Jack, what's up? Why do you look so glum all of a sudden? He hesitated, then looked up at me in the eyes and said softly,
Well, a few days ago, me and Signey broke up. I've been finding it really hard to try and move on.
Okay, don't judge me, but I couldn't help but help feeling a slight bit of happiness knowing that Jack was single. But of course I didn't show that. Oh man, Jack, why didn't you tell me? Don't worry about it. You're out in LA with your best pal Mark, and I'm gonna make sure you have the best weekend ever. Oh, he didn't realize. I slowly rubbed circles into his back as he buried his face in his hands and let a few tears fall. We sat like that for about 10. Please shut up. We sat like that for about 10 minutes before he looked up at me and said,
Thanks, Mark. It's weird. The thing that made me frown earlier was because I realized I hadn't even thought about Signey since I got here. I guess just being with you makes me feel better without you even trying.
He smiled and looked up at me, and blushed a little, and melted inside upon hearing that I made him feel happy. That's all I wanted to do, make my Jack-a-boy happy.
Jack's point of view. When I woke up to the smell of bacon and eggs wafted into my room, making me hop up from bed, wander into the kitchen where I saw Mark cooking breakfast at the stove. I didn't think he'd heard me, so I snuck up behind him. But just before I could shout behind him, he swung around and did it himself. I almost fell over. He shocked me so much after I just woken up. He just stood there laughing his head off at my shocked face. Walking over to the table carrying food for us both. That wasn't funny, Mark. It was supposed to make you jump, not the other way around. He just laughed and started to eat. Time skip to the start of live stream. As me and Mark finished the final touches to our recording setup, a flush of nerves filled me, and I sat thinking for a few minutes, suddenly worried about things going wrong during the live stream. I was worrying about messing it up for Mark, and what if we didn't raise the goal amount of money for the charity? My thoughts were cut off by Mark asking,
Are you ready to start it?
I looked up at him and shook my worries away. Yeah, let's do this. He laughed at me and started the camera. I dare you to. Chapter 4.
Almost the second we started, the chat was exploding. Hi, Mark. Hi, Jack. And lots of
septiplier away.
Of course, I had completely forgotten about the amount of septiplier comments we were going to be made throughout the stream. It was the first one me and Jack had done alone. We had done one with Bob and Wade before, which I suppose made it different. But now it was just us. I didn't realize that I hadn't said anything since we started until I heard Jack say,
Hey guys, it's me, Jack-a-boy, and I'm here with my smelly friend Mark.
Of course, this made me laugh and get my head back in focus. Hello, everybody. For starters, I do not smell. Thank you very much, and welcome to our live stream. Jack started to set up the first game we were going to play, as I started answering some of the random questions that were popping up on chat and explaining a bit about the charity.
I just finished up setting up the game when Mark started out the camera so they could watch his screen of playing. With us both in the corner, we were playing Who Is Your Daddy? Getting plenty of jokes, and everything was going great until Mark decided he didn't want to play anymore.
Jack, I'm bored. Let's do something else.
He turned to the camera and asked,
What do you guys think we should play now? We need suggestions.
I just nodded in agreement and switched off the game. We both awkwardly stared at the responses flying in on the chat, and a lot of them were to play the dreaded Truth or Dare. Really, guys?
Really?
Really?
Really, guys?
Really?
What's wrong with you?
I'm not smashing that like button.
I'm not saying hello, everybody. I'm not saying bye-bye. I'm not the king of FNAF.
I'm not calling you latties this morning. Please don't say that one. Please don't say that one. I repeated over and over in my head.
A lot of the viewers were practically begging for us to play Truth or Dare, and of course, being the idiot I am, I didn't see the harm in it, so I turned to Jack, who had a look of worry on his face, and then back to the camera, and said, All of you want us to play Truth or Dare, so I guess that's what we'll do. Jack's face turned bright red as I said this, and his smile dropped. I could tell he was panicking. I just hope the fans couldn't.
Okay then, Mark, you go first. Truth or Dare?
He asked sheepishly, his face still flushed crimson red.
Third person point of view.
Mark thought for a moment, and of course, being the daredevil he is, he screamed, Dare me, bitches, I ain't no wimp.
Dares for Mark started popping up on the screen, a lot of them being sexual things towards Jack, but he chose to ignore those things, making Jack relax a little more. He finally chose to eat a ghost pepper and then almost die from the heat that he forgot in those had. Jack was in tears of laughter, rolling around as Mark chugged milk sweat dripping from his Mark chugged milk sweat.
Sweat dripping from his forehead and his
eyes watering.
Eyes watering.
Jack's point of view. After a few dares for each of us, I could tell Mark was no longer having fun with the dares, but he decided to keep going. It was his turn once again, and we were looking through the requests of dares for Mark. The variety had started to shrink as more and more people were dying to get more fuel for the septiplier ship. I know it was weird, but I kind of wanted Mark to do something. Anything to do with septiplier. I was just curious, and plus, he looked so hot right now.
When he's drinking milk sweat.
I love milk sweat.
Oh, my eyeball!
No, Jack, shut up, stop it! I was cut off from my thoughts by Mark reading out the dare he's finally chosen.
Okay, I give up. So many people want this, so let's just get it over and done with. I dare Mark to kiss Jack. It can just be a peck or more, but it must be on the lips. Okay, come here, Jack, and Papa some smooches.
I turned my head in shock at the dare he chosen. I felt my heartbeat quicken and my face is on fire. I could tell I was sweating. Must have given him the sweat to drink. And blushing like a tomato. So I get a say in this? I asked, so flustered. I didn't know what else to say? The thing is that I secretly wanted this. I wanted to feel Mark's lips on mine, even just for a split second. I needed it. Mark looked me dead in the eyes and edged closer, his mouth slightly parted, so I could tell this wasn't just gonna be a prank. Mark's point of view.
I don't know what came over me, but I decided that I didn't care what anyone else thought. Now was my chance to show Jack, but I have an excuse if things went wrong. So I lay closer to him, and surprisingly, he brought his face closer to mine. I grabbed the back of his neck with one hand and closed the gap between us, smashing our teeth together.
I have skin missing on my foot.
At first, he didn't kiss back, but after a few moments, his lips started to move perfectly in sync with mine. I completely forgot we were on a live stream. I didn't care. All I was thinking about how perfect Jack's lips were on mine. Our kiss became more heated as he put his hands on my head, tangling his fingers in my hand. I don't want to read this. That actually hurts really. They kissed, and then people saw it, and that's the end of the chapter.
Okay, guys, we're leaving it on a cliffhanger. There's 5 chapters left, but I have 30 minutes of footage. So we will continue this some other time. And make sure to punch that like button
And
in
I
the
will
face
see you
like a boss.
in the
And
next
high fives
video.
all around.
Bye-bye.